More drawer stuff. Yes, more drawer stuff. Hey, welcome back. Shop and channel. Drawers, bottoms. We're gonna do drawer bottoms now. Change of plan. I'm always changing my plans. I decided to go ahead and do slide-in bottoms as opposed to building around the bottom itself. If you have to change it or something happens, it's easy. One screw is holding it in the back. Well, the first thing you got to do is take apart the back end of the drawer. Now these go this way. These spread out this way, so you want to just give them a tap. Get them off. And then you want to cut off the groove that's on the back of the drawer, like this. Once you've got that cut off, see there's no groove on here anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place the back of the drawer back in place. There we go. Now, so I could slip the back in right now, but the issue is that the router bit leaves a round corner in the inside of the groove, so I've got to remove that round corner and any bit of a dovetail that's hanging over the groove now. So I got to trim that off as well. Like, I know, a big mallet. I grabbed the wrong tool. There, so that one's opened up. This one is now opened up. So now I can slip the workpiece down into the drawer and it fits nice and snugly. But the next thing I got to do is I got to round over two of the corners because of the fact that that router bit leaves a round corner, like this. The process is essentially the same, only larger. I'm going to go and cut off. First of all, I have to take off the back. And cut the groove off the back. The machine's winding down. So there we go. I've got the, make sure the O's are for outside. I've got the groove cut off. Now slide this back together, just like the little one. Snug, but not too tight. And then check the fit of the piece. Oops, almost forgot. I got to clean out this corner and the other corner. And this is got a, that's fine. So now we check the fit to make sure it's all around gonna fit okay. Yep, and now round the corners and slide it in place. So you got me rounding corners twice now. Bingo. That's it. It fits nicely. Once again, a drawer with a bottom. Next, I'm going to finish up getting all these bottoms on, and then we'll start doing the final cleanup and final assembly finally of the drawers, followed by, as I said before, I know I repeat myself a lot, followed by putting in the drawer glides. Yay, I finally get to start assembling these for real, gluing them together and making them permanent boxes. So the steps are, oh, let me get it first. I got the clamps, I got my glue, got my acid brushes for spreading glue in small parts. My handy dandy is a square measure, and I have a sander connected to the same dust buster that the dovetail jig was connected to, because I wanted it to be on the eye socket. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this apart. Break, strong word. I'm going to take it apart, sand the insides. not the outsides. The outsides get sanded later when I want to clean up the dovetails on the side. So first thing to do is remove the bottom, put that out of harm's way, and just tap this. So the insides, I'm going to be sanding the insides with the sander. Noisy. Need my earmuffs. Got them. Turn them on. Start the tunes. There we go. And now sand all these down. This is the inside, just to keep them nice and smooth for the clothes and whatever. All right, so that's that. Give them a quick wipe down, like so. So now we got to put it all back together. There's the back, right there. Goes that way. This is this side, and this is this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue on the pin boards because it got more surface area here to put the glue on. A little bit of glue. I'll probably have to dip out some more a little bit. So let's get started with this. Okay, so there's the glue, and now we start to assemble these. And so let's start with this one, like so. Nope, the other way. This one, here. Good, there you go. And then this one in pieces, and then the other side. And for help in the alignment, I'm going to put the bottom kind of back in again, but that can change. All right, so first things first, we're going to glue. And now, the ultimate test, kinda, 21.5, 21.5. So this wound up being just right the first time. There we go. So we'll leave it alone. I'm going to get a rag and wipe some of this down. Wherever I see little drips. Okay. Is it flush? Yes. No rock to it either. So now we sit and wait for glue to dry. And we have achieved glue. Take the clamps off. Nice and solid. Now, I think I glued that in. So to hold the bottom in, if you have wood, dimensional lumber as the bottom, like a raised panel bottom, you cut a slot in it here and put a screw or a nail or a tack, and that would hold it in place. And the reason you have a slot in it is for expansion and contraction of the actual bottom. But this is plywood. It's not going to expand or contract appreciably. So I have here the drill. I'm just going to put a 1/2 inch number 6 screw in the back, right in the middle here. Countersunk, of course. And that'll hold the bottom in. So it's not going to move around anymore. Nice and solid. So, only 13 more to go. A quick little interlude here. As drawers are drying, and I have drawers that have dried overnight, the glue that is, are cured overnight. I'm now planing down the dovetails, which are a little proud of the surface, and especially have to be smooth on the front, where I'm going to attach the drawer fronts, the cherry drawer fronts. So this set of dovetails are done. Now I've put a piece of wood in here to extend my vise just a little bit. Now what I'm using is not a sponsor, not an advertisement. I've got a Lee Nielsen, not Lee Nielsen, I wish it was, a Lee Valley Veritas low angle smooth plane or jack plane, whatever you want to call it, but it's a low angle plane. It's 12.5 degrees. It's great for doing end grain like my Lee Nielsen block plane is. It's low angle, 12.5 degrees. It's great for doing end grain. You don't get tear out, chip out, whatever, if you're careful. So I've got, these are just a little proud, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go angular cut across the piece this way so I can shear the fibers off, but I won't get any blowout at the other end. Okay, that's done. Now, I've already done this side. Now what I do is sand these dovetail ends to just bring up the last little bit high there. Bring these dovetail ends down really flush with the surface, so when I put the drawer fronts on, they'll fit really snugly against the piece of wood here. No gaps or anything. And one of the best tools you got in the shop is the Mark I fingertip. You can actually feel how smooth that is with no proud dovetail ends in the workpiece. Now this will get done with every single drawer, and with the larger drawers, in order to get it into the vise to do the work, I take the bottom out, take the bottom back out, and then I can get it in the vise like this and then do the work and clamp it in nice and tight. So I'm going to proceed with the gluing bits, and then we're going to put drawer glides in. And with that, that's the last drawer glued, screwed, the bottom on, and planed and sanded, or so that the dovetails are crisper and the front can fit flush to the surface of that piece of wood. Now it's time to put the drawer glides in. I mentioned earlier in the video I have a jig that I've used in the past for doing drawer glides. It's the Rockler Universal doweling draw slide jig, which is not so universal because this only works with face overlay drawers. It only works with overlay drawers. To do inlay drawers, you have to recess your glides in the depth of your drawer front. And my drawer fronts are 3/4 of an inch. So I got to index them, the glides in 3/4 of an inch. So I built, of course, a jig. What I've got here is a stop for the drawer glides, a stop for the jig, and of course, ubiquitous clamp. The way this works is, pull this drawer out, bring the camera in, we'll take a look. It's kind of real simple. So the drawer glide fits up against this front frame, and you lock it in place. That's good. Now, what this does is, this little tiny stop allows me to put a drawer glide in place, like so, then pull the slide out, so I can get in and I can put screws for the internal part. And then when they're in, I put a piece of 1/4 inch plywood down in here to rest the drawer on, because it's going to be, I want it flush, a clear 1/4 inch from the center frame, the divider. And then, screw in the first ones and pull it out a little bit, screw in the other ones, and then finish it out. So I'll put one of these in, and then I'll do the rest. Maybe I'll film when I go out to Culpeper to get the next load of wood, because that's coming close. That's close. That's coming up. So let's put in some drawer glides. So once again, I have a mechanics magnetic bucket for the screws. These glides came with the screws. Some glides don't come with the screws. I find that kind of bizarre. So little screwer. Now, so the first one's going in right now. I also have I magnetized this this bit. Three screws in each one. Drawers in. Here's my 1/4 inch spacer to get the drawer 1/4 inch off of the frame itself. Let's double check to make sure the rear. Yep, good. That's deep enough. So there's a screw. The next thing I want to do is bring this out, and I want to screw in the very first screw in the front. And that will determine, of course, where that'll keep the 1/4 inch spacing that I'm looking for. And then I can pull it out further, keeping the 1/4 inch spacer in place. Oops. And I'm doing these flush with the surface because that's where the drawer front is going to go. All right, now. So keep it at the 1/4 inch. Double check, make sure everything's cool. Oops, I see a mistake I made. Yeah, that's okay. The cutout for the back here allowed the drawer to fall down in the back. So I moved the 1/4 inch spacer to the underneath these two rails here. So now it's level, as it should be. These are the little things you got to look out for. Put the, can't believe I'm using Phillips head screws. I don't think I've used Phillips head screws in a long time, but these came with the drawer, so I'm not the slide, so I'm not going to argue the point. Now that is now affixed like so. It's not going to move up and down, so let's bring it all the way out and do one more. There you have it. One drawer, 13 to go. Nice. Now that the drawers are all in on their runners, I of course have to run out to Culpeper and get more cherry to do the drawer fronts. We had a little contest as to what was going to be the front of the drawers and partially part of the doors, and the winner was this, which is a raised panel kind of detail and a bead detail all the way around it. This is just a prototype. First runner-up was flat with the bead detail, and the drawer front rejected completely out of hand. It was just a flat piece of wood that looks like mid-century modern. When I was putting the drawers in, I'd made a little change. I took that piece of plywood and I cut it in half so I could stick it underneath the individual sides and keep the front to back nice and even at a 1/4 inch. The hardware is all brass. It's William and Mary style. The drawer is going to get a plate and a bail on either side, so there's two of them. And the bails are held on by this brass screw that has, you can see that in camera, has that hole drilled in it that holds the bail in place, like so. The drawers are going to get a small escutcheon in the middle, and this little William and Mary teardrop pull that goes right there in the middle. And that, oops, and it's all the way on the floor now. So that's the hardware. As I said, I got to run out to Culpeper now and get some more wood to do the drawer fronts. and the doors. Now, as to the doors, they're going to be rail and style with a raised panel in the middle, and there'll be a bead detail around the raised panel inside the door. So it kind of matches the drawer fronts a little bit. So hopefully I'll be able to video or get some more pictures of Chris's shop. But anyhow, that's it for now. Next episode, we'll have the cherry and we'll start cutting it to shape and putting it in place. So until next time, make great things out of wood and maybe use some brass hardware.